My parents expected a child. Papa found a doll that he liked and he brought it home. The Stalinist police came in. Vasilia Laboon, you have to come with us. This was in November 37, and I was born in March of 38. When I was just 3 weeks old, that she travel and go to where the prison was. I have to see my husband. He has to see his little girl. And they said, he's no longer here. He was taken to Siberia. It was now 1942, and the Nazis come in. Take whatever you can, and all I had was my beautiful doll that I called Papa. Our destination was Loch. And as we arrived, we had to undress women and children. I don't know what they did. I just held on to my mother. Mama had to go to their factory to be a seamstress. I went with her. I'm standing there with my doll, and a Nazi Gestapo came and he tore it away from me. Now I'm screaming and crying, and Mama said, "Shah, quiet." So I stayed quiet. In a few months, we were told to get whatever we had to go to the train station. The soldiers everywhere with their rifles and pushing and schnell, dreckige Juden, schnell rein. And I looked down and there was this big German shepherd and he was gnarling with his teeth. I see these very shiny boots, and to this day, I can never wear boots. And so we are in this cattle wagon. Not enough room for everyone even to sit down on the ground. It was 2 days that we were in there, no food and nothing to drink. All you smell is the worst in the world. They opened the door, raus ihr Juden. As we arrived, there were lots of houses. These were all barracks. The mattresses were filled with straw. And at this point, the straw became mush, like moist sawdust. And the food was a thin soup and a piece of bread. What I lived through was cold, fear, verbal abuse, and hunger. That's all I knew. From that camp, we were moved to one more. And somehow, because Mother had sewed one of these coats, I could stay with her. You cannot believe that that is the most wondrous thing in my life, that I was saved. One day, everything was quiet, and an American soldier comes, and he says, "You are free. The war is over." My mother, she says, "Trudie, you have to get up. We have to go. We're going to America." What a hopeful thing in her brain. Here we are loading on the truck, and we are coming to this displacement camp. Oh, you cannot believe the joy. We got soap and towels and new clothes. And most of all, we smelled food. That was the joy of our time, to go to the cafeteria and get food. One day, a group of women come in that were from the Red Cross, and they brought all the children a wooden box with pencils and erasers, and in mine they had beads. I still see myself today. It was such a joy for me. And she said, "Trudie, we'll make something of this." I said, "Mama, could it be a goose?" And we had no fabric, so one of her skirts was black. Not one of her, the only skirt that she wore. She tore a piece off, and then she taught me how to embroider this goose. And I then went with my mama, and she got work in little towns. And it was time that we could come to America. It took about 6 days to cross the Atlantic. So one day the captain says, "Statue of Liberty." It was such a wondrous thing. We go on top, Mama cried. The time went by, now I'm 18. And a friend of Mama's, Tante Teresa, she comes and she says, Masha, do I have a wonderful, nice Jewish boy for Gertrude? And you know, eyes can tell stories together. And we were married. So I went and studied to be a nurse. I had finished all my prerequisites, and I became deeply depressed. I had to go and see a psychiatrist. And I mentioned my doll that was lost. And he says, well, Trudie, wouldn't you like to dress a doll like your doll was dressed? You know, suddenly a spark came into my brain. I thought, well, that's a good idea. I asked doctor, why did we have to wear the Star of David? And there I learned that we had to dress differently outside for 11 centuries. I thought I must make 11 costumes of the centuries. It took a whole year for me to finish this collection. It was a year of tears, and it actually saved my life. When I was done, I took it to the Holocaust Museum. I am from a time where I was nothing more than an ant or a bug that you step on. And here I come to them, and they accepted it. I just need to read something in the end. 49 Muslims were killed in New Zealand in their mosque. When I heard that, you know, it hurt me deeply. You see, hate comes out in different ways. Even in our country, we have to be very careful to judge it the right way, because this is terrible. This is the right of every human being, that they can believe what they want to believe. We need respect. We have to respect each other in our country. I am Trudie Strobel, a master embroiderer and an artist. Und entsteht ist heiß.
Und der Rebel im kleine Kinderlach, dem alle weiß.
Suction noch einmal
und
und
Tage
Tagchen noch einmal.
einmal,
Komm jetzt alle